So the thinking is that if you have a large number of currencies on the Ripple network and a large number of institutions issuing them, it will be very difficult to find a direct path between two currencies. So if you have US dollars issued by a local chain and you want to pay somebody in Guatemala who gets cash at his grocery store, the probability that there'll be someone offering to trade one of those currencies directly for the other is pretty low, and that the liquidity will probably be through some intermediary currency. The Ripple network has a native intermediary currency called XRP, or sometimes called Ripples. And the advantage of Ripples is that there is no counterparty. There's nobody. It works just like Bitcoin. Your Ripple balance is just a number on your Ripple account on the Ripple network. And the theory is that because XRP doesn't require any trust or anything in common, it can flow between any two accounts. You don't have to agree to have somebody hold it for you. And so if that becomes the premier intermediary currency, then two types of people will want to hold XRP. One will be people who don't know what currency they'll need next. If the path from dollars to euros tends to go through XRP, then if you don't know whether you'll need dollars or euros, it makes sense to hold XRP because then you only have to pay half the spread. And then the other thing is market makers. If you're just trying to make a market and people who are selling their dollars want XRP because that's what they need to buy euros, then if you want to be able to buy dollars, XRP is the currency that you're going to need to hold to buy them. If that's the way it plays out, then the demand for XRP will go up and therefore the price will go up.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that was a podcast from 2015. If you don't recognize the voice, that was Ripple's CTO David Schwartz. In 2015, the use case of XRP as a bridge currency was still very much a big vision, a theory that if widely held, the demand for XRP would go up and the price would go up. But as he continues to say, there are no guarantees. And here we are 7 years later, and that vision of using XRP as a bridge currency is still in play. But as David said then, and as I think he would still say today, no guarantees. However, the fact is that the use of ODL continues to grow, and the use case of being a bridge currency is just one use case, just one. In this video, I'm sticking to XRP. I'm going to share with you clips from an MIT FinTech podcast 2022 that was uploaded just today. And I'm going to be making some comments. They are going to be my own opinion. So let's start with this first clip, and it is really addressing adoption.
I think we built RippleNet, which is a genuinely better payment technology. We have the XRP ledger, which I think is a genuinely better payment technology. And there's this saying if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. Well, we got two better mousetraps, where payments are still awful. So I think we have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges with there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia. There's the big players who are really trying to defend. If you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology because you're in the lead. So of course, you say you love technology, but obviously you wish you could stop it. So all those challenges. If you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology.
So if you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on the technology. Now, here's my opinion. JPMorgan, who is one of the world's largest banks, they've placed their bet on Ethereum and aggressively going after payments. What a better way to do it than through the SEC? Yeah, for sure. They don't like Ripple. The next clip you're going to see is attorney John Deaton talking to the CEO of a token called Library. He feels that the SEC, if they personally don't like you, you are a target. Have a listen.
Because we hear Gary Gensler say, come on in. Come on in. We heard Bill Hinman say, and Jay Clayton said, come in and we will work with you. I have to tell you, Jeremy, if someone such as yourself came to me today as a lawyer seeking advice, I would say, don't cooperate.
Correct. That's my advice. I tell blockchain entrepreneurs, hide as much as you can do, obscure everything that you're doing, just hide as much as you can. And that's messed up because that's what we did. We went in, we were maximally transparent. We said, here's the spreadsheet that you can download of a literally line by line of everything we're doing with our money. And all I did was get punished for it. No, there's no sense in which by being a good guy, you're going to avoid it. The SEC, they're lazy. They are lazy people. They don't care about catching bad guys. They care about catching people that they personally dislike or that are easy for them to catch. Okay, I mean, you can look at some of the actors in this space that that have been, clearly selling stuff that's crap, and the SEC doesn't even go after them.
That last blue card is the work of @Stetis on Twitter, and he is just always doing a fabulous job. He's really documenting the history of the company Ripple and the digital asset XRP for years now, and he just is doing wonderful work. All right, use cases. Cross-border payments. So XRP is being used as a bridge currency in cross-border payments, but it also has another use case for Ripple, the company Ripple. And we're going to talk about use cases here because, like I said, there are a lot of use cases for XRP. And those people who just think it's just for cross-border remittances, they are so wrong. But let me just stay on track here and not get ahead of myself. This next use case is one that Ripple is identified or has identified, and that is for the stable coins or to get in between the CBDCs, which are the central bank digital currencies. They are nothing more than a digitized fiat. So listen to David on this portion of his MIT podcast.
So one of them is a stable coin is generally going to be pegged to some asset, like let's say the dollar. It's not going to be a sort of geopolitically neutral asset, at least not in the foreseeable future. Also, it's going to have some sort of counterparty that's going to sort of regulate and run it. And that's fine for the people who are sort of who are in with that regular. So for example, if you're doing anything with dollars, your exposure to the Fed is already infinite. So if the Fed's going to issue a dollar stable coin, those are dollars. I mean, there's no more real dollar than the Fed owing you a dollar. That's a dollar for all practical purposes, but it's a dollar. It's not a euro. It's not, it's not any other asset. So I do think there's a role for stable coins. Number one, as a way of holding money and as a way of keeping piles of money for deployment, but you're still going to need liquidity between them. And I still think that there's a huge market for a sort of liquidity focusing token that isn't tied to a particular jurisdiction. I think if the argument is that a stable coin is stable and super efficient, and so that makes it great, then all you need is a couple of chinks in that, because the argument is essentially a perfection argument. It's so perfect, why would you use anything else? Well, it's really not perfect because there's a counterparty, there's a jurisdiction, there's inflation, and if inflation is low, it's going to be expensive to exist. And if inflation is high, people aren't going to want to hold it, but the issues will make money. So it's not a perfect solution either. I think having a large number of solutions will inspire people to improve payment systems so that they can. Like right now, people couldn't use either of these because they were using payment systems like Swift that they can't settle. So I think having a suite of options that people like will inspire people to join the ecosystem of people who could use a digital asset to settle, could use a stable coin, and then it's on each of those ecosystems to compete to give customers the best solutions, and then customers will get the best experience because they'll have that freedom of choice of what works best for their particular problem.
So now I hope you understand that the stablecoin is not a perfect solution. It's not geopolitically neutral. It has counterparty risk, and it has the exposure to inflation. The JPMorgan coin is tied to the dollar. If the Feds do a CBDC, it's tied to the dollar. If a CBDC from another country exists, it is tied to their sovereign currency. There is a need for liquidity in between those different sovereign currencies. So anytime somebody says that the JPMorgan coin is a XRP killer, I think you can now accurately explain why it is not. Now the next clip I'm going to show you, and boy do I have to remember to smile today because I am super serious. Yeah, this is really important to me, this next clip, because I want to tell you that XRP is for the retail investor. That clip that you see shown of Dilip Rao saying that XRP is not for the retail investor, that was years ago. This has changed. You're going to see right here that David says they've come full circle. And that full circle turnabout came about 1.5 years ago. They are coming back to the crypto community. And then after this clip, I'm going to get into the use cases because I don't depend on Ripple. Ripple is just going to be one of many use cases out there, probably thousands of use cases.
And we've kind of a little bit come full circle because I think in the past 1.5 years or so, we've really started more embracing what's going on in the cryptocurrency communities in ways we haven't, particularly because of issues like climate concerns and so on that have sort of forced us to say that we don't really feel like we can sort of sit back and not participate in an ecosystem. And I think also we've been a sort of part, we've also like this, what we've done ourselves, and there's also like being a part of a community that's trying to accomplish a large number of different things. Like there are a number of other companies and foundations that are building on top of the XRP ledger.
Holy cow, there were 4,000 applications for the Creators Fund. That was just for the NFT platform. The ledger has a native token that secures the platform, and that's the digital asset XRP. And how many of those projects will use XRP in their payment solution? I think that's a silly question. And is an NFT for enterprise use only? No. We're also going to see smart contracts come to the XRP ledger this year. How many of those will use the digital asset XRP? I can guarantee you more than you can count on your fingers and your toes. Do you also remember that XRP, as of December, is now offered in a wrapped version for the ERC20 DeFi platforms? Are retail investors using the ERC20 DeFi platforms? Of course they are. So point is, the XRP use cases outside of remittances has just begun. Now, I'm sticking around for the show. Okay, everybody, let's jump to the fluff. We're in a station, and you can see that they're using this new style of signage, and it's made to look like augmented reality, but it's not. It's just a kind of trick on your eye as the way it has been created. It sits flat on the floor, but it really looks like it's popping up, doesn't it? I'll tell you, it's really super fun. I think it's very effective too. And if I take you to one more story about trains, this one is fun. This is about the Cebu Railway. Let me see if I can pull that picture here for you. What they are doing is allowing people to have a wedding on the train. So I've told you trains are really, really popular here. And there are people who just, they're called train otaku, which they are huge fans. And they are offering this train to be chartered, decorated in the style of a wedding hall. It's called the Happy Train Wedding Plan. It's going to start April 1st. There's 4 cars, and it runs between 2 stations in Saitama Prefecture, which is like northeast of Tokyo. It's just there. It's a bedroom community for people who do work in Tokyo. And you can get this round trip, and there's enough, the 4 cars will give you enough invites for 50 people. And it comes with a moderator that will use the in-car broadcast. And it even has an option, if you like, you can wear the Cebu Railway uniforms. Well, it's really for some hardcore otaku. Well, anyway, I hope you had fun and do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.